I'm James. Nice to meet you.
I'm Relachi. Nice to meet you. He's kind of cute, I think. James so far has been acting like your textbook gentleman, opening doors for me, offered to pay the bill, and walked me home after every date.
This theater's a bit chilly. My hands are cold.
Here, my hands are warm.
Thanks. So, I'm your first guy.
I've only been with a woman before.
That's nice.
Please stop doing all this and just be genuine.
Okay, I understand. Why don't you stay for the night?
No, I would rather go home.
Oh, come on, stay.
He let me take a shower at his place. That is when I saw a very particular medicine sitting there next to the shower. They were drops for HIV and MRSA. Why does he have this? What is the name of the medicine? Beta-isodona. Don't worry. Beta-isodona is a preventative medicine after surgery. You're safe. The person I called was my friend who lives in a family of doctors. If she says I'm safe, then I'm safe. Oh, thank God. I should get dressed. James lent me one of his shirts to sleep in and holy moly, I'm swimming in this thing. James, you fat.
Hey, I'm lean as heck.
I felt really comfortable with James because he let me be myself, but as dating him went on, I noticed that he couldn't be himself with me. He tried so hard in getting me to like him by lying to me. I didn't need him to agree with me every time and have the same interest as I do. He was never really being his genuine self, and I could tell.
Hey, do you like chocolate?
I dislike chocolate, it's just a bit too sweet for me. Why?
Yeah, I know you said you dislike sweets, but this chocolate is delicious. Besides, girls love receiving chocolates, right?
I excuse this behavior because it was still a sweet gesture, right? I mean, there's no reason for me to get upset, right? We were barely a month into seeing each other and things were progressing in lightning speed. For him, things were on boyfriend-girlfriend level. While I was still trying to figure out if I'm even bisexual or not. Everything I said just bounced off of him. I was debating if I should end things with him, but I decided to wait and give him a few more chances. I'm not someone who just gives up so easily. Trying to talk things out with someone who won't listen and be open with each other with someone who can't be honest is impossible. Around the same time, a coworker and friend of mine, the same person I called at the beginning of this video, was planning a New Year's trip to Poland. Yo, I was super excited because it was my first time outside of the country with my friends. I was so excited, I had to share it with everyone I was close with, and I told James. And guess what he did? He invited himself. Who in their right mind would invite themselves to a holiday with a girl he has been barely meeting for a month with a foreign friend group? I mean, imagine how awkward it is to say no in this situation. But I had to. So I tried to do it as soon as possible, but then I found out he already bought his ticket. Dude, not even I bought my ticket yet. He fast. Things started to boil over on week 4. That week I had an important big exam in university, a lot of extra work shifts, and a mandatory Christmas party by the company. Honestly, while I was writing the script, I had a mild anxiety attack because that week was stress level 100. Let me lay out the week for you. Saturday evening, mandatory Christmas party. Sunday to Wednesday, work non-stop. Friday, big important exam. Sleep? What is that? You might think the Christmas party jump-started everything in a good way. You can't be more wrong. Our gym was so stingy, we went to the cheapest noodle place and could only order one of 2 items off the menu and 1 drink per person, non-refillable. Since James and me still kept things undercover, he couldn't tell them he was going to Poland with us on New Year's. So he decided to loudly proclaim to everyone,
I'm going on a skiing trip with my parents and my sister.
No one asked him or cared to begin with. He was sitting opposite of me and was flaunting with his lies. And he was fully aware that I was listening and that I hate lies. I mean, I'm fine with little white lies, but that lie was completely unnecessary. He could have just said nothing. There was no reason to make up a lie. While everyone was discussing their New Year's plan, not paying any attention to my side of the table, James decided to turn around to me and my friend who I was going to Poland with and say,
So, what are you two doing for New Year's? I'll be going on a skiing trip with my family.
All three of us knew we were going to Poland. No one was even listening to our conversation. He had no reason to drag us into lying with him. And I didn't say one word while he was going on his lying tangent. And I'm someone who talks a lot, so if I'm quiet, that means you done fucked up. Suddenly, our boss stood up and decided to have the whole table's attention. As you might know, we have trouble filling in the New Year shift on the 1st of January. Now, me and my deputy will leave you for 10 minutes and you can decide among each other who should fill in. If you can't decide within the given time frame, we will have to choose one ourselves. For 10 minutes. Everything was a disaster. No one wanted to be there on the 1st of January. Arguments were getting very heated. Colleagues started yelling at each other, and things even got physical.
I can't do the New Year's shift because I'm going on a ski trip with my family.
Then the boss and deputy came back. So, have you decided now? We thought you were going to be indecisive. So I threw in this box the name of each of you. The name I draw will be the person doing the shift. If either me or my friend gets drawn, we'll have to call the whole thing off. Patricia. The girl that got drawn immediately started crying. I mean, me and my friend felt relieved, but at the same time we felt so bad for her. Both of us left early after they did the drawing. And with early I mean at midnight. Which wasn't early at all, considering I had a morning shift at 5:45 a.m. But the management were still angry at us for leaving early. They might have just a personal vendetta against every employee at this point. Because after that, all my shifts turned into a living hell. The deputy especially let me feel his wrath from the Christmas party. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I came home Saturday after that party and got a couple hours of sleep at best. And then went to work at 5:45 a.m. the next morning. I already texted James that I have 4 consecutive working days and a huge exam at the end of all that. So I told him explicitly that I won't be able to meet him until Friday after my exam, which is about 6 days of not being able to meet him. We still kept up contact every day, texting and calling and stuff. He told me he understood and I went on with my day. Work, study, sleep for a couple hours, back to work. I received a text from James the next morning saying this.
Hey Relachi, my friends and I are going to attend a pub quiz this evening. Wanna come with us?
Sorry, I need to study after work or I will fail big time, but have fun today.
Okay, no problem.
James asked me again while texting the next day during my shift.
Hey, wanna meet up for dinner after work?
I really can't, I need to get home and study. Also, the deputy manager has been horrible to me, but let's definitely catch up after my exam. I know a great pizza place in our area.
Okay.
We have still been communicating every day. It's not like I cut off contact with him. I was just busier than usual. I had to prioritize my exam that week. And then the 4th day came along.
You've been so distant this week. I feel like things aren't the same anymore.
Usually I would reassure him, validate him, blah blah blah. But if I'm stressed and I don't get enough sleep, that's not the time you want to piss me off. So the texts were escalating a bit.
I'll come by the gym after your shift. We need to talk.
I don't want you to appear at my work. I really just want to go home and sleep a bit and then study for my exam. I told you before, I'm exhausted and I don't want you to take this personal. I'm just busy this week. My text somehow made him even more pissed. He did demand to see me every day, but he didn't once ask me how I was doing. It was honestly one of the most stressful weeks I've ever had, and having him in my life just made it worse. That's when I realized I really have to end it with him. Any possible feelings or affection I might have possibly had for him was gone in an instant. So I asked him to meet me after my exam on Friday.
Now you want to see me? No, you missed your f***ing chance.
Yeah, at that point, my patient was gone. Completely gone. I was overworked and the deputy just kept lashing out on me. He even had the balls to accuse me of not doing any work and told me to quit. So, I quit. When I came home on my last work shift that week, I decided to do the only thing I thought was right at that moment. End things with James as soon as possible. First, I sat down and took the time and searched for a way for him to refund his ticket to Poland. After searching relentlessly for 30 minutes, I finally found a link for him to get a full refund. However, that refund was only possible for the next couple of days. I didn't want to reject him and also have him lose his money. But I couldn't not reject him and have him on this trip either. So there was this extra added time pressure on me from that point. Dump James before the refund time runs out. I tried to get him to meet me after my exam the next day, but he was just too angry at me for telling him I was busy the last 4 days, even though he knew what was going on. So with the stress and pressure, I made the decision to break up via text. I wanted to tell you personally, but looks like I don't get to, especially when the trip to Poland is coming nearer. I'm trying to tell you as good as I can in my exhausted state of mind that we should end this. My priorities lay somewhere else and I just can't give you the time and attention that you need. I'm sorry that I had to do it via text. After I texted this to James, I proceeded to fall asleep at 7 p.m. or maybe how I read I should call it, dropping dead in my bed. I didn't even study no more, I just wanted some sleep. James called me at around 8 p.m. but since I was out cold, I didn't notice until the next day. I know that some people look at breaking up with a text message as a very bad thing, and I also got called out by the gym people and his friends and my colleagues, but honestly I still believe it was the best thing I could have done. I mean, I tried to break up with him face to face. It wasn't like I was too scared to do it, but he just wasn't keen on meeting me and I wanted him to get this refund. And also remember, we weren't in a relationship. We have been dating for a couple of weeks, maybe a month. That's it. I opened up my phone the next day and there was this long text. James wrote me the freaking Bible. And guess what? I'm gonna give you the whole thing. It started out with this little sentence saying that I have to be honest with you, I didn't expect this, there are 3 things I want to tell you. And then it spiraled into a bullet point list of why I suck and why he hates me. Buckle up.
Number 1, you are uncultured because you ended it 4 days before Christmas on WhatsApp, and it didn't make it any better that you said, sorry, I had to do it via text. Also, it would have been great if you had thought ahead and told me earlier, because now I'm sitting on 45 euro bus fares and that is a lot for a student. That's really shit of you. 2, you are missing out on the most beautiful thing you could ever imagine. Advice for the next guy, get your shit together and do more. I feel ripped off because I tried really hard for you and you gave me back extremely little. 3, saying you have other priorities is bullshit. I'm doing a double major. I work part-time, work out multiple times a week and meet friends. And it still works out for me. You know, I really had feelings for you and you really screwed it up. Nevertheless, thanks for the nice time together. And I would have deserved more than a 5-line message from you that you casually threw into your phone like, sorry, won't work, bye. Nothing more to say.
And he blocked me after that message. I couldn't send him the refund link after that, so I decided to give it to my colleagues/friends to send it to James. It included the link to the refund and a lengthy apology. I mean, after telling this story, I realized it does sound a bit like I didn't care for him or that I was very passive. But don't worry, I did cook for him, I gave him thoughtful presents, and I planned actually most of our dates. I'm a good wife. After all that, I just wasn't into James as much as I could be. Maybe I was just a bit bi-curious, but hey, I'm a college girl, we're all bi-curious, right? Jokes aside, I actually had people telling me in my comments that I'm bi now, and I appreciate you trying to tell me my sexuality, but no. I tried it and I wasn't into it. That's why I still identify as a lesbian, but there ain't even real rules for this shit, so shut up. Don't let other people define your sexuality and don't let your sexuality define you. It doesn't matter if you're straight and fall for the same gender, or if you're gay and have a crush on the opposite gender. Love is love. Isn't that what we are trying to preach in that community? Hey, this is Relachi. I was reading this comment in my straight guy crush video. It says, experimenting with your sexuality is completely fine. Saying you're a lesbian that can be romantically/sexually attracted to boys is not. You're harming our label. They said our label, so I guess they identify as lesbian too. Listen, the part 1 of the story I posted was about me not being into the guy, if you didn't catch the message. Even if I did discover I'm bisexual, I don't have freaking future vision. We are not bound to our sexuality forever. I didn't commit a blood pact with Satan. Things can change in our lives, and I don't understand why this is a bad thing. It's people's own personal lives, and it's neither hurting you or any labels. LGBT people need to stop hating on other LGBT people. This is toxic as hell. I would much rather receive hate comments from homophobes than getting hate comments from my own people, because we are literally on the same team. And I can't believe you actually took time out of your life to say stupid shit like this. This is the same stupid ass energy as bi erasure. And it just makes me mad. Stop hating on your own people. I had people go on full panic mode just because their romantic interest didn't match their label of orientation. Why? If you know you like the person and everything is consensual, just go ahead and try it. Just be open and honest with your sexuality, and if they're fine with it, then give it a go. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Thank you for my supportive Patreon. Special shout out to Leslie Zamora and shout out winner PaytenTheGhost. Also a big thank you to my friend SultanSketches for lending his sexy Australian voice to James. If you want more tea on James, stuff that I couldn't add in this video because it's too spicy for YouTube, I wrote a whole damn extra story about James in my Patreon, you can check it out. Or if you want to see me and Sultan goofing around while recording, or if you also want a shout out in the end of my videos, you can check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Relachi. People always tell me that they feel sorry for the workers, and I was one of the workers there. Sounded like a good plan, right? What could possibly go wrong? Except that, 2 employees just went down to the storage room at rush hour